Hey guys, what's going on? My name is GamerGator, and today we are back for the final episode in my top 50 roller coasters. My voice is starting to hurt because I am actually recording all these videos back to back to back to back to back. So, I recorded episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're on 5. So, that's been a lot of talking for me. So, I'm kind of excited to just finish this. But, yeah. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, go watch them, especially the first one. That's important because I explain what's going on, why I'm doing this, everything like that. Yeah. So, anyway, enough mumbo jumbo. Those are all the parks I've been to, the parks that are going to be on this list. There you go. Go and watch previous videos, then come back here. Or if you've already watched the previous videos and are here, hi guys. Pretty much. Let's just speed through these, because you don't need to see these, because you've already seen them, hopefully. Why am I doing this? Almost done. I'm going to stop once we hit Millennium Force, which is number 11. There we go. And now, are you guys ready for the top 10 best coasters that GamerGator has ridden? Number 10 is Top Thrill Dragster. I already talked about Kingda Ka in my last video about how much I love Kingda Ka. Dang it, headphones powering on and off. I already talked about Kingda Ka in the last video about, you know, how great that launch track is and everything. How fast you're going, the adrenaline, the fear you feel whenever you ride it. Top Thrill Dragster does just about everything better than Kingda Ka, save for layout, because it doesn't have that airtime hill. But I'll definitely take Top Thrill Dragster over it because it is smoother and it has lap bars. At times when I go on Kingda Ka, well, pretty much every time I go on Kingda Ka, when I pull down my restraint, the orbital shoulder restraint will come down pretty tight on my legs, and so it kind of hurts. But it's not the worst thing in the world, but I'd definitely rather have these T-bars that Top Thrill Dragster has. It's much more comfortable. And overall, Top Thrill Dragster, it's smoother, and it is the original for one. And yeah, Top Thrill Dragster is just amazing. That adrenaline experience. I haven't actually done this in the front row, but I've done Kingda Ka in the front row, so I can definitely imagine what Dragster would be like in the front row. And it's amazing. Definitely ride this in the front row. Oh, I know for sure it's amazing. It's gonna. I really hope to one day ride Dragster in its full potential in the front row because it just seems amazing. And yeah, Top Thrill Dragster, freaking awesome coaster, and it still holds up at Cedar Point. It is actually my number 3 coaster in the park. It is actually higher than Millennium Force. It is that good. Coming in number 9, we have Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa. This is the best B&M I have ridden, and partially because of the theming. The layout is fantastic. It's intense. It's whippy. I've ridden in the back row. Back row is, from what I've heard, where it's at. But the coolest part to me is diving in and out of trenches. You just feel so cool. You have near misses. It's just awesome, right? You feel like your legs are gonna get chopped off. Just an awesome coaster, man. Montu is awesome. Best B&M I've ever ridden. Now, guys, don't get too mad at me for the next thing I do, because I know some people are huge fanboys of the next coaster. So, alright, here we go. Ooh, don't rip me in the comments. Coming in at number 8, I have Sky Rush. Now, some people are definitely on my side here, but there are a lot of people that love this thing, and even some people that hate this thing. I have it at number 8 because I still think it's an awesome coaster. And, you know, I love it. I still do. It's so intense. It gives good airtime. The problem, you all know the problem with this coaster. It's the restraints. Even those lovers of Sky Rush know the problem of Sky Rush. The restraints suck, okay? I'm gonna get this straight out here. Sky Rush has the worst restraints I've ever experienced on a roller coaster. They really are. They're bad. They squish my thighs. They hurt. And it takes away from the ride experience. If Sky Rush had good restraints, you would see this thing in the top 5, maybe even top 3. Because the layout is great. It's intense, super intense. I got a back row night ride on this thing. That was one of the most intense, if not the most intense coaster experience I've ever felt. I got you know, I've gotten back row left wing seat. Felt that drop. That drop is incredible. It's just the restraints come down so tight on you that when they give the airtime. There are 2 ways to ride this. One, you lean forward so that it doesn't hurt when the ride tries to give you airtime and you try like pulling the restraint down. or just don't let that happen. Either way, either you get painful airtime or no airtime at all. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation, guys. So, that's the problem with Skyrush. The restraints suck. It's still an enjoyable ride, especially if you get a back row night ride like I did. It was awesome. But if that's really the only situation you can enjoy it in, isn't really worthy of being super high in listings. If you're fine with Skyrush's restraints, good on you. I'm happy that you can enjoy this coaster. For me, I don't like the restraints, but I still love the coaster. It's still such a fun coaster, and I'm glad I get to ride it. I got to ride it a few times, and it's just an awesome freaking coaster. I remember when I first rode it, the restraints didn't bother me but I was young then, and then as I got older, I'm definitely not fat by any means. I'm not saying bad on fat people. Oh gosh, what have I done? What have I done? It's just even as a very, very thin person, because I myself have been made fun of for being thin. Even me, a skinny guy, can't. The restraints still hurt, so the restraints are gonna hurt on everyone. So yeah, Skyrush can only be number 8, unfortunately. When I so badly want to push it higher, because it has the potential to be higher. If just the restraints were good. Alright, enough about Skyrush. Coming in at number 7, we have Candymonium, the newest coaster that made it to Hershey Park. And yes, I actually prefer this to Skyrush because I enjoy my overall experience much more. And that is because, well, the restraints are good. I'll tell you that. I love myself with B&M clamshell. The B&M clamshells are so comfortable. They're great. Now, why is this above a ride like Nitro, you might say? That is because Candymonium delivers strong airtime on every hill that it goes on. Say for this one right here, because there are unfortunately some trim breaks there. You still get airtime, but not that good airtime. But every other time you should get airtime, you do. Especially that drop. If you ride towards the back row, I'm personally a back row sort of guy on this ride. I've done second to front and second to back, and I've preferred my second to back row. And yeah, they had assigned seating, so that sucked. But yeah, that drop in the back row, woo, that's a good drop. And that camelback is great. The turnaround's fun. You got another good airtime hill right after it. It does have a trim break, but you don't really feel it. Still another great airtime hill. That speed hill, oh, love me a good speed hill on some of these B&Ms. That speed hill was so good. And the outer brake turn, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's a fine home. It's B&M trying to be edgy, but it's not that great. And then that airtime hill kind of takes away. But one of the coolest parts is when you circle around the fountain and you just look around everywhere, see the people all around you. That's one of the coolest parts, honestly. And then you pretty much go into the brakes. You do a little pop, and you're in the brakes. That's pretty much all it's there. So it sounds like a short ride. It's a little on the short side, but it doesn't bother me very much at all. So yeah, Candymonium, awesome freaking coaster. Exactly. It's a perfect fit at Hershey Park. I know people might be wondering, why are there two hypers? This ride is so different from Skyrush. First of all, this one's comfortable. Sorry, Skyrush fans. But yeah, the GP aren't big fans of Skyrush. Partially because of the strengths, also because of the intensity. It's way too intense for them. And then you got something like Candymonium, which is the perfect GP crowd pleaser. So, yeah. I don't know if this makes me GP that I like Candymonium more than Skyrush, but I do. Coming in at number 6, we have Kumba. See, I like intense coasters, because Kumba is freaking intense, man. This thing is super intense. I've ridden in the back row. Okay, let me explain this. I'm pretty sure it was in the dive loop. That dive loop is... Ride that dive loop in the back row, or I'm pretty sure any row, I had to guess. I've only ridden this in the back row. But that dive loop was insane. I mean, like, I stopped touching the floor. I was at the top of my restraints. I thought it was possible that I was gonna fall out. It was insane. I loved it so much. Kumba is such a good ride. It's intense, it's long, it has great inversions, it's a great layout. It's just the perfect B&M sit-down coaster. I like it more than Hulk. I really do, because it's more intense. This ride. It's just nuts from beginning to end. So yeah, Kumba. Absolutely worthy being number 6. And is, I believe, my number 2 favorite B&M. Yeah, second favorite. Second? Yeah, second. For a while it was #1, and then it got dethroned in 2019 when I went to SeaWorld Orlando and rode Mako for the first time. Excuse me. Yeah, Mako. Awesome freaking ride. Now, if you're wondering about the duration there, I couldn't find the duration online, so I did actually just time it from when the train leaves the station to when it hits the brakes, and that's how long it was. So it's a pretty long ride. You got some good ride time on this thing, and yeah, the first half of Mako is definitely the shining point. You get so much awesome airtime. The airtime on this thing is phenomenal, and the reason it's above Candymonium is because it's a longer ride. I feel like I get more out of Mako than I did out of Candymonium. And the ending may not be as good as the first half, but the ending is still fun. Yeah, I think one good airtime moment on there, and then you have the turns passing over the water, and those are, I got to sit on the edge of the seat. I was also again sitting towards the back row on this one. I unfortunately had to sign seating, but yeah, the airtime was still phenomenal. That drop felt just as good as Candymonium's. Yeah, their drops are pretty much on par, I'd say. And yeah, going out, reaching your arm out for the water, trying to touch it, that was really fun. And overall, I just love this ride. This ride is so good. This is definitely the best B&M Hyper I've ridden. And that's not me trying to crap on Candymonium. Candymonium is still awesome. Nitro definitely the weakest out of the three, but still great. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, there is no bad B&M Hyper, at least not from the ones I've ridden. There might be a bad one, we'll see, but hey, I enjoy all of them so far. I think all of them are great. Now, coming in at number 4, I'm not sure how you guys are going to feel about this, but number 4 is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. Gosh, I hate that name, but I love Hagrid's. I really do. I got a front row bike ride at night on this thing. That was one of the best coaster experiences I ever had. And not just that, I did know about the surprises, but I rode it with my family. I got to see all their reactions, especially my dad, who I was sitting next to. And yeah, seeing his reaction to, I'm not going to say what they are, I don't want to spoil it, but seeing his reaction to the surprises was so much fun because my family had no idea about that. They were so happy because, honestly, we rode this late at night. This was the last ride we did at Universal, and really, they just wanted to go home and skip this ride. But I was like, no, we're doing it. And so we did it, and yeah, I'm never going to let that go because we will forever remember that I was right and they were wrong. Anyways, there you go. Hagrid's is, it's got a special place in my heart as well. It's not just because, well, first off, the experience is amazing. There's so much great theming here. I'm not going to say anything about it, but the Black Forest, awesome. Yeah, it's just such an amazing ride. The launches, just the fact that I was on a bike. I don't think I've ever done that on a roller coaster. That was the first coaster that I ever did that for. That was awesome. And so, yeah, heck yeah, Hagrid's is an amazing coaster. And it's even possible that Velocicoaster might not dethrone this thing. That's how good this thing is. I doubt it, I will say, but hey, Hagrid's is amazing, and you guys need to stop sleeping on this coaster, because it's awesome. Coming in at number 3 is another intimate launch coaster, and that is Maverick at Cedar Point. This coaster, again, a lot of people are starting to hate on this coaster too. I don't get it. This coaster is underrated. I rode it in 2014, the first time I rode it. This is actually the first coaster I rode at Cedar Point, fun fact. And I had low expectations. I was a dumb GP, it was a short ride. I'm like, it's probably not going to be that good. Let's just do it anyway while we're here. And so we did it. And I was like, wow, that coaster is amazing. And it was my second favorite coaster in the park after Millennium Force, and I wasn't even expecting that. I was expecting probably Dragster to be my second favorite. But no, it was all in Maverick. And yeah, and now that I'm much less GP and actual enthusiast, Maverick is 100% better than Millennium Force. It's better than Dragster. It's definitely worthy of number 2 in the park, absolutely. It has so much amazing airtime, the launches are so much fun, the 95-degree drop is awesome. Also, again, this is another, similar to Fahrenheit, this is absolutely a back row ride. I haven't done it in the front, but I'm sure the front is still going to be great because you have launches and you'll probably feel more intensity there. But the whip in the back row over that drop and just over the airtime in general is amazing. And this is absolutely a back row ride. So yeah, Maverick, amazing, amazing coaster. One of my favorites. I can't help but love it. It's a perfect coaster in my opinion. There's nothing they could do to improve Maverick. It is perfect. It is intense, it has airtime, it has some decent theming, especially for a Cedar Fair coaster. And yeah, Maverick, amazing coaster. Stop, guys, stop underrating this coaster. It's amazing. It really is. Gosh. Alright, number 2, El Toro. I am so lucky to have this coaster at my home park. I have probably ridden this more than any other roller coaster on the planet. It was the first proper big coaster. This is the first elite coaster I ever ridden. If we're talking first big coaster I ever rode, that was actually Rolling Thunder. Like, you know, big boy coaster. But if we're talking serious stuff here, El Toro was the first one for me. I remember when I was first going up to ride El Toro, you know, kind of jealous that when I went to Six Flags, all my family was able to go on, and I was just sitting there by myself. Well, not by myself, I believe I was with my mom, but you know, my cousin, my sister, my dad, you know, they got to go and ride. I'm like, oh, I want to ride El Toro, but I didn't. Actually, I might have waited for my grandma, my mom, whatever. But, and then I'm like, yes, I'm tall enough, I'm gonna ride El Toro. And I was like, holy crap, that thing is freaking ridiculous. I honestly don't really remember the first time I rode El Toro, but I do remember when at Fright Fest, I got my first ever night ride on El Toro. It is a back row night ride on El Toro. It was perfection. You want to talk about the best back row night rides, Skyrush fans? It's El Toro, okay? Well, I haven't done my number 1, which won't be spoiled yet. But out of the ones I've experienced, absolutely El Toro. Just so much airtime. It's intense. It is insane. That is perhaps the best first drop I've ever experienced. Actually, no, it is the best first drop I've ever experienced. It is so good because you have momentum building up from that little turnaround and going slightly down, and then just you're in the back row and you get whipped like crazy. And especially since the trains are super long. The trains are super long, so you get some insane whip on these airtime moments in this ride. This ride's intense. Those turns, it has a few rough patches, sure, but I can more than overlook those for sure. The airtime moments are insane. That Rolling Thunder Hill, guys, the Rolling Thunder Hill. The Rolling Thunder Hill is perhaps the greatest moment of airtime I've ever experienced. It is that good. Now I know you guys are wondering why it's not number 1. Well, as I said, it has a few rough patches, and also it's a bit of a short ride. I do wish the ride was a little bit longer. It's not bad by any means. I'm pretty content with the amount of ride that I get when I ride El Toro. But it would have been nice to have a little bit more. But El Toro, phenomenal coaster. Absolutely worthy of being at my top 2 coasters that I've ridden. It's phenomenal. It's incredible. It is perfect. Pretty much. It's basically perfect. It's as good as a wooden coaster is going to get. To me, this is probably the best wooden coaster in the world. I don't know. I haven't ridden the Voyage. Honestly, I haven't ridden many that great wooden coasters. The only really standout ones to me are El Toro and Lightning Racer. And El Toro is just on a whole nother level from Lightning Racer. So, yeah. Anyways. Now that my throat is sore, it is time to get to number 1. I've been talking for at least an hour now, jeez. Yeah, number 1, you already knew what it was. It's Steel Vengeance. Steel Vengeance, guys. Steel Vengeance. Where do I even begin with this coaster? I know I said El Toro's first drop is probably the best. Steel Vengeance is just as good, maybe slightly worse, but near enough on par. I rode this, surprisingly, I only got 1 ride on this thing, which was unfortunate, but I rode this thing in the back row. I will never forget that coaster experience, I'll tell you that. I rode Steel Vengeance in the back row. I heard like, oh, the drop's not the best part. It's gonna be good, but probably not that great. And then I felt it like, wah! You know, you just get catapulted out of your seat. And then that little speed hill, and then the top hat, you're freaking high up again. You feel like you're basically standing. And then you have the outer bank turn that's nuts. And then you have the inversions. The inversions are the shining moment, but they're definitely very solid. And then you're jumping up into the mid course. I don't mind that there's a mid-course there. It doesn't slow it down. Then you just get another great drop going off. Then you got some more airtime, outer bank turns, weaving within the structure, inversions, more airtime. It's nuts. And then those 6 airtime moments back. It I remember I talked about when I first rode Phoenix. When I rode Phoenix at Knoebels in the front row. I didn't say it was the front row, but I did ride in the front row. I'm not counting it on this list because it's been too long since I rode it. It's been about 9 years, 8 or 9 years since I've been to Knoebels, so yeah. So I'm not counting coasters if it's been that long since I rode them. I'm just trying to be fair. But I remember I rode Phoenix in the front row, and I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna die. I haven't felt airtime like that, like near death airtime, since these last 6 hills on Steel Vengeance. They are just insane. It is masterful airtime. This thing is the complete package. It has everything you could ever want in a coaster, save for maybe theming. But other than that, it's perfect. It's intense. It has airtime. It's fast. It's tall. It's photogenic. It's beautiful. It's a masterpiece. Thank you, RMC. This is the only RMC I've ridden, and I've heard this is the best one, and I'm not gonna fight that. It probably is. Yeah, Steel Vengeance, man. Holy crap. That's all I can say about this coaster. Just holy crap. That's pretty much all you can say about it. Absolutely worthy of being #1. Just headphones. What is the matter with you headphones? You are driving me insane now. Anyways, Steel Vengeance #1. Absolutely worth it. Guys, just go down to Cedar Point and ride this thing. If you go down to Cedar Point and marathon this thing for the entire day and go home and ignore all the other coasters, I will respect you. It is seriously that good. Anyways, and there you go. There was the list of the top 50 coasters that I've ridden. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like. It would help out a lot. And really, I'm doing this series of videos because, well, my videos aren't getting many views, many likes, or anything like that. I'm trying to do something different here and there. So hopefully this works. Hopefully people come and watch it. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave that video. It really would help out a lot. Please subscribe, all that sort of stuff. It would really help me out a lot. I'm trying to grow my channel more and more. And so if you have subscribed and liked, thank you. Just want to say that. Thank you very much for all that. And I hope more people will come and do that. Please share this with your friends or whatever. Just thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like again. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you next time. On Friday when I inevitably upload more videos just to get attention. Bye-bye. Bye. Recording program. Stop it. Slides. Record. Bye. Am I still recording?